Oh, political vigilantes. Let's get the light. Ooh, that's a little bright, huh? Orange face right there. I don't want to look like Trumpy Trump. Dirty Trumpertons. Let's center that camera. Center that camera. Blue light of truth shining across the world. That is the Dark Knight right there. We are live in Gotham City, trying to make it great. I'm going to log in here to the YouTube. I haven't gone surfing with Putin in a while. It's been cold and rainy in Southern California. The gnarly Southern California winters, very, very challenging. 56 and rainy. It's a tough life. Went for a bike ride today. Drinking a vegan smoothie. Hey, Shelby Hall, what's up? What's up? Can everybody hear and see me correctly? Let me know. Hey, it's your son's 21st birthday. Well, tell your son happy birthday, Shelby Hall. That's right on. I remember I turned 21. Rhombus Isotope, boom, you're in the house. Everybody here and see me? This is a delicious vegan smoothie. While we're waiting for more people to join in, unsweetened almond milk, organic. Half a frozen organic banana. About maybe 3/4 of a cup frozen organic blueberries. Unsweetened organic peanut butter. Literally just peanuts, salt, a little bit of oil. And mixed greens, frozen. And vegan protein powder. That's good smoothie. See those vegan guns, guys? I don't need a gun. I don't need a pistol. Don't need an AR-15. I've got these things on my side 24/7. Ah! Ooh! Oh, brain freeze. Gnarly brain freeze. Julianne B. Sounds good. High gram rock out. You got it. Glad everybody is sounding. Everything's sounding good. What's going on? Stream quality is good. Everything's good. All right, here we go. Shelby Hall, I caught myself screwing with a guy trying to get on the freeway who had giant Trump and MAGA flags flying off the back of his truck. I'm a child. I understand the desire to want to do that, Shelby. I totally do. But you know, don't get yourself into some sort of traffic situation where you're going to get a ticket and then the Trumpers, right? You don't want that to happen. But I do understand that. Rhombus Isotope, I was away last week hiding from Adelaide and the Adelaide Fringe. Oh, right on. Adelaide Fringe Festival. I've always got to get, I've never pursued trying to get involved in getting asked to perform in those festivals. I'd like to, but it's a lot of effort. I love performing in Australia and Adelaide. I've performed at the Rhino Room in Adelaide numerous times and I loved it. Todd Mason, good work on the FNX Comedian series. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. We've dropped 2 episodes. If you get FNX, a new episode goes up every Friday at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, and they're rerunning it a lot. So if you get FNX, it's probably the FNX Comedy Experience is probably both. There's 2 episodes out there now. The second one that dropped on Friday was the Ladies of Native Comedy. These 3 women, all who grew up on Indian reservations, and they're hilarious. And it was really cool to have them and have a whole show just dedicated to them. 3 It was great. It was really cool. And we put the first episode on the Facebook page, and we're not going to put any more on the FNX Facebook page just because we want to try to sell the series to like Netflix or somebody like that. And if we put them all up online, then it negates that deal. But you can watch, we just put the first one up there just as sort of a test. If you don't get FNX in your area, you can go to the FNX Facebook page and watch the show. It's pretty cool. Shelby Hall, I did let him in and smiled like I was a dumb blonde. That's hilarious. Twirlip of the Mists. I would disapprove of Trump voters harassing Clinton voters in traffic. That's funny. Marcia Smith, hello, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Oh. Let me ask you guys something. I was doing the Super Chat Sundays for months, and then when I was switching to Saturdays, like right after Jimmy Dore, 4:30 Pacific time, what do you guys prefer? Does it make a difference? I mean, I know everyone's schedule's different, and I know like the people that are in Europe or Australia, it's hard for them because it's Monday morning there now. But let me know. I mean, obviously, I can't accommodate everybody's individual schedules, but Saturday, I don't know. It's hard. And the thing, here's what's going on. Why I've done some Saturdays and some Sundays. First, we were shooting the show on Sundays, so I had to move it to Saturdays. Now we're shooting the show on Fridays, but sometimes I've had to go in and edit either on a Saturday or a Sunday because we're up against deadlines. We got to release new episodes every week. We've shot 8 of them. We've got 5 more to shoot. 2 have gone on the air. I've got to put, edit and put a new show up the next 11 Fridays all the way to June 1st. So I'm trying to be consistent, but it's hard right now with the show. So I'm sorry I keep flip-flopping it around between Friday or the Super Chat between Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know. Let's see what you guys think. Rhombus Isotope, which gives you enough time to get surfing? Well, you're awesome for asking me that, Rhombus Isotope. It's been cold and rainy, so there hasn't been a lot of surfing. Either way, if I do it Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon, if there's surf to be had, I'll arrange that day to surf. Surfing isn't what's shaking this up, but thank you for asking for that. Marcia Smith, having Jimmy's live stream followed by yours is just exhausting for me. Wow. That's reasonable. Dense from Germany, 45 minutes till Monday. Guten Abend. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see what some of the other questions are. Shelby Hall, while canvassing, a guy answered the door and said he was a registered Republican, but immediately said, "But I want to change." I told him it's never too late to do the right thing. Say the same thing to Democrats. Twirlip of the Mists. How many people are happy with their party and what's wrong with them? Yeah, exactly. David Wint, maybe go full Truman Show and keep the live stream running 24/7. Oh boy, that's too much pressure. Yeah, I'd just be afraid I would say or do something really offensive or gross or something like that. I don't want a camera on me 24/7. I'm kind of a weirdo. Boom, 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 boom. So I guess we should talk about this because I've seen some articles on this. Shelby Hall, corrupting influence of money is in politics. This is the root of all of our problems. Yep. Marcia Smith, I've really become convinced that political parties are useless, and why should we have to join one in order to vote? Ugh, such a great point. Such a great point. Google George Washington's farewell address. If it's online, it should be. It's a pretty amazing. One of the things he said was don't form political parties. We've got this new country here. Let's not ruin it with political. And of course, everyone went out and formed political parties. So Yeah. Rhombicized compulsory voting is so fun. Yeah, that's Australia. Are you in Australia? They have compulsory voting in a lot of countries. Brazil, I know, has it. Shelby Hall was with a lady from France yesterday, and she was telling me how they vote. So simple and fair. Oh, and a huge family holiday. Yeah, of course. Marsha Smith, Sprechen Sie Deutsch. Yeah, there's so many countries where it's on the weekends, or it's several days long, or a combination. That's what we should do in this country. Honestly, voting should be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days. And you can vote by mail. Nation, that should be just every election you can vote by mail. Julianne B., no independent candidates allowed in debate. Such a pathetic commentary. Absolutely. Yeah. Shelby Hall combined Veterans Day and voting into one national holiday. That's great. That's a great thing. There's so many really good solutions out there for election reform. And also, let's not have Diebold run the electric voting where people can hack it and cheat it and all that other stuff. Vaseline, have you seen Icarus documentary on Netflix? No, I have not. I'm not surprised it won because it looks like it's some sort of Russia hysteria documentary. I voted green. Good for you. Yeah, Shelby Hall, they don't want everyone to vote. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Shelby. This is all by design. They want it to be on a Tuesday. They want you to have 2 and 3 jobs to where you don't have time to vote. That's what they want. Dennis from Germany. Here in Germany, you don't have to be in a party to vote. You are automatically registered with your 18th birthday, and elections are always on Sunday. Wow. KC the 11. I'm doing research on the best country to flee to. This isn't going to end well. Man, I don't know that I blame you. I worry about that myself. I'm sitting here going, and they're just, Tim Kaine is just, I did that video where him and a bunch of other Democrats, of course, are trying to do more bank deregulation. Like, and when a giant recession hits here and everyone's got a gun and there's no work, what the fuck's going to happen? I think about that a lot. I think about, should I move to Costa Rica? Should I move to Australia? Should I move to Japan? I'm considering it myself. If I can build this show up to where it's making me real money, I'll do it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Shelby Hall, my 17-year-old registered to vote Monday. He'll be 18 in May. We saw Bernie last Saturday. It was crazy. The line was wrapped around a city block to get in. That's great. Rhombus Isotope, don't flee to New Zealand. It's where all the tech billionaires are headed. Oh boy. They're going to start ruining your country. Julianne B., Bernie or Jill in the debates would have utterly flipped the conversation. Absolutely. Can you imagine what the debates would have looked like? Even if we just had Hillary, Trump, Jill Stein, and Gary Johnson. Can you imagine what those presidential, carried on national TV to tens of millions of viewers, can you imagine what those debates would have looked like? And what the political conversation would have been like here in America? We would have seen something we've never seen before. I don't know if Hillary would have won. Maybe Jill Stein, maybe Gary Johnson would have won. What if Gary Johnson won? Or Jill Stein won? How crazy would it be? How much different would America be right now? Art Kozlinski, everyone here, I call for a national general strike. West Virginia and the Florida teens are showing us that our government submits and folds when we all come together. I'm going to make a Facebook page. Art, I agree with you 100%. And this is what it's going to take. This is the thing that Chris Hedges talked about in Death of the Liberal Class, which he wrote 8 years ago. It's going to take nationwide shutdowns. You watch. There's another student protest on the 24th. You watch, because look how this country goddamn reacts. A dog dies in an overhead bin on a plane. Within 48 hours, a congressman, I think Joe Kennedy or John Kennedy, had a bill on the floor of the Congress. We can never let a dog die in an overhead bin again. Never again. High school students can get gunned down. 30,000 handgun deaths. That's fine. That's no problem. We'll let happen. You know what I mean? We'll let Sandy Hook happen. We'll let unarmed black men get gunned down and no repercussions. Well, that's fine. But a dog? Oh, no. Why the fuck are dogs on planes to begin with? I'm sick of those fake fucking service animal vests. I used to fly a lot, and it was bullshit. A real service animal, that's a real... Look at this fucking country. Guy wears a bomb and makes a bomb into his shoe once. Doesn't even detonate it. Back in 2002, 16 years ago. And now everyone's got to take their shoes off. I'm all for it. We need mass walkouts of everything. Everything. Just walk out. You know, let's pick a day where no one's going to work because until you cut the military budget in half. Mass protests, mass walkouts. It's the only way they're going to listen. Shut everything down. It's the only way they're going to listen. Julianne B. And this shit in schools, police state arming teachers. Yeah, that's the NRA solution. Give teachers guns. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. Dennis from Germany. Here, it's totally normal that all parties participate in TV debates. Oh, I've seen that so many countries. I've watched TV in Canada, and they'll have 5 people talking. All the 5 different parties. Wouldn't that be amazing? And then have a runoff election with the top 2? With ranked choice voting? See how many things we could fix? See how and then we would have... in a democracy, you need everybody engaged. You need people having discussions and debates and conversations. It's not good that people are checked out. That's not good for a democracy. Well, we know, we talk about it all the time. We don't have a democracy here. We have a corporate state. We have a kleptocracy. We have a plutocracy. We have an oligarchy. That's what we have going on here. They don't want that. If everyone's engaged, then there would never be this bank deregulation. We wouldn't have recessions because there'd be so much fucking regulation in place. This would never happen. We wouldn't have 30,000 handgun deaths a year. We'd have public schools that were amazing. We would lead the world, not in obesity and handgun deaths and shit like that. We're last in the world in English. We wouldn't have stuff like that. We would be number 1 in all the good categories. Twirl up of the miss. In my honest opinion, what we need is a non-ideological party with no divisive platforms, no opinion on gods, guns, and gays. Focus on campaign finance and ending corruption until we get a representative government. You know, that's not a bad plan. I mean, I think I could respect that, to just say, look, have your own religious beliefs, have your own beliefs about sexuality. The gun thing I don't agree with because 30,000 deaths a year, that's fucked up. That's not good. You know, you live in the country and you're like, Graham, I need a gun. Some of you have said this. I got to shoot snakes or coyotes. Great. You need a handgun or a single shot hunting rifle. There you go. I know. And my mom lives out in the country and she's had cougars and coyotes and shit. Okay. Yeah. But limited amounts of ammo. You don't need an AR-15. And I'm sorry, we need gun regulation. We just fucking need gun regulation. 80 for 5. Here's the thing, twirl up of the mists. 85% of the country wants some type of gun reform. 85%. The number of people that are actual members of the NRA is like a couple of million people. It's nothing. So when the whole country wants some type of gun reform, then you should put that in your new party's platform. Shelby Hall, tune in this week for TYT for Bernie's Town Hall on income inequality. I'd love to see that. C. Blaine, we need the League of Women's Voters to take back the debates. I remember when Clinton ran the stage, was full of candidates debating. When Clinton ran the stage. You're talking about Bill Clinton in 92? I don't quite understand that, C. Blaine. Don't forget, guys, a great way to support the show. Hit the $, the super chat. I'll put your question up there and we'll answer it. Shelby Hall, is it better to do super chat or put in more to Patreon? I heard that YouTube takes on super chat is crazy. Yeah, if you're having to make a financial decision, supporting me on the super chat is way better. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I said that wrong. Supporting the Patreon is way better. Super chat's a good way to support the show. I can ask your question, but YouTube is a little vague on what percentage of money they take. Patreon's very clear. They take less than 10%. It's a little less than 10%. So, so 90 cents on every dollar you give me on Patreon goes to me and supports the show, which helps pay for my producer, which is why I'm able to do this. I'll be real honest with you guys. If I didn't have the money to pay a producer, I would be releasing like 4 videos, 2, 3, 4 videos a week because I'm too busy with the FNX show. Because I have a producer, I can bang out a bunch of videos and do my 12 videos a week and a super chat and bonus content. So the more money you give to the Patreon actually is the best way to support the show, flat out. Because then I can put that money into more stuff. If I've been hanging around this $750, $800 mark for about 3-4 months. If I could really get it above 1,000 or more, then I could just put a little more time into, pay my producer to do a little more. But whatever you can give helps. Art Kozlinski, United States General Strike. Everyone, let's fuck the 1%. Right, Vac. I think you probably, you wanted to say back. Right on. Twirlip of the Mist. Dead Dogs is safe. Exxon and Wall Street don't mind. Just don't mention anything important. Exxon Mobil. That's a great point. Rhombus Isotope. Shut it all down. Go to the park and play Frisbee for peace and justice. Yep, good point. Mr. Dead in my pocket. Give teachers guns equals NRA solution to reducing classroom size. Yeah, they're just insane over there. It's insane. David Wint. Hedges talks with NYC taxi driver on this week's On Contact about Uber, the gig economy, etc. Hedges suggested that the taxis shut down New York City like the French farmers who drove tractors into Paris. Kevin Eckhart, hello. Shelby Hall, we were taught to never discuss religion and politics in public and look at the condition of our country because of it. It's such a weird thing. Like, as a comedian, crowds get pissed off. Like in Europe and so many other countries, discussing and debating politics is fine. People don't get all mad and fuck you and how dare you say that and walk out. They don't get all crazy about it. It's like, hey, let's debate politics. This country is so nuts. It's so whacked. This country is so out of whack on so many levels. We've had discussions and debates on this show every week. We don't all agree on everything, but then the Trumpers and the Clintoners, they won't hear it. They won't hear it. It's craziness. It's craziness. The hardline Christians, that you can't say anything against an organized, don't talk about my God. Why do you care? Why do you need me to agree with you to believe in your God? I don't need you guys to agree with me for me to be a vegetarian. That right there, that's a Buddhist thing. I don't need anyone watching this. I don't need any friends or family to agree with me about why, of all the religions I've studied, Buddhism speaks the most to me. I don't need you. I don't need you to agree with me. And I don't understand that thing. You know? Dance from Germany. Graham, I have a question. What the fuck is wrong with you guys that you stick with your shitty system, for example, healthcare, for so long? I wonder why there isn't public outrage riots. It's a great question, because they have done a fantastic job of keeping us misinformed, of keeping us thinking that this is the way it's supposed to be. It's like you're in an abusive relationship, where if you ever grew up in a crazy, violent, abusive, alcoholic home, if you do that, then you're told, you think everything's like the insanity of that home. You don't know what healthy boundaries, healthy relationships, you don't know what they are. So you just think that's the way everybody is. That's how they do it in America. It's a fantastic question, and that's what they do. That's how they do it. David Wint, some for you, some for YouTube. Damn it. David, thank you so much for supporting the show, man. I appreciate what you guys are doing. Shelby Hall, $2. Just increased Patreon to 20, so small super chat. Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. If you go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, you guys are awesome for supporting this show. And a bunch of people just, well, not a bunch, but like 2 people, I think, just did the $25 level. I love interviewing you guys on the show. Whatever you want to give, however you want to support at the Patreon, I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much, David Wint and Shelby Hall. Cinema Writer, I've never taken an Uber in my life. I don't use Netflix and never will. I personally use Lyft. I don't have Uber on my phone. I use Lyft because Lyft supports its drivers better. And I've heard just a lot of really good things about Lyft. I know some people that have driven for Lyft, and I just have heard way too many complaints from Uber drivers. And then the stuff I've read in the news about Uber. Netflix, I don't have that big of a problem with Netflix, but maybe they're doing something that I'm not aware of. Hobo Raiders, Europe is awesome. They seemingly have their shit together in comparison to us. I went to Germany. Infrastructure is good, unlike pothole U.S. roads, LOL. That's part of the thing, too, to go back to the Dennis from Germany's question. So then we're told that Europe is just socialism and it's so bad. So we've been told for decades how awful socialism is and how great capitalism is and how great socialism, and they've done a great job of tying socialism to the Soviet Union, right? They've always made socialism and communism, they put them in the same sentence, refer to them in the same way. I've done videos on this recently. And that's part of how they ingrain in Americans to believe that we should have shitty health care. I mean, the last election, college-educated, smart, liberal friends of mine said, yeah, but single-payer health care is pie in the sky. Because they're told that. They're told that. And then they're busy, and if you've got a job and kids, you don't have time to go dig through the internet to find a little YouTube show like this. You just watch CNN for 30 minutes and think you're informed. And you hear people like Hillary Clinton saying, oh, universal health care and college, those are ponies. And everyone goes, yeah, stupid old socialist from Vermont. He's a sexist. What? That's what they do. And then they make Bernie Sanders a sexist, and all the media is controlled by massive corporations. So this has been fed to us for decades. We're told to believe this. It's scary. Katie Hughes. I mean, I agree. I mean, of all the religions, at least Buddhism teaches logic and taking care of oneself, not just stressing everybody out. Yeah, and judging and all that other shit. And I've read a lot of books from the Dalai Lama. There's no shame. Did you know in the Tibetan religion, there's not a word for guilt? They don't have guilt in their vocabulary. They have remorse. Oh man, I'm sorry that happened. But they don't beat themselves. They don't have guilt. They're so in the moment. It happened in the past. I can't go back and change the past. I can learn from it. I can't change the future. I'm here now in the present. It's amazing. It's an amazing philosophy. And Christianity has been used to get people into groupthink. Most religions are used to like get everybody thinking the same way. Twirlup of the Mist. People here want good government and more gun laws. People on other sides want good government and less gun laws. Let's get the 90% together to achieve good government, then debate policy. Okay. On this site, I'm just telling you, there's a lot of polls, not just mine, not me, that are saying 80-some% of the country wants gun reform of some variety. That, I've seen that statistic all over the place. Sean Comets. Sean, thank you for supporting the show. Love your artwork. Keep rocking. I will, Sean. Is Donna Loesch from the NRA the Baroness from Cobra, the terrorist organization from the G.I. Joe cartoon? Yeah, yes. That's a fact. She is the Baroness from the G.I. Joe cartoon. I think we should really look into that. I think a lot of these NRA people are evil villains from the G.I. Joe cartoon series. Look it up. Now I'm getting into Alex, Joe, and lizard people craziness. Sean, thank you so much for supporting the show. Check out Sean Comet's artwork, man. I like it, and I've retweeted it on my Twitter account. My Twitter account is @GrahamElwood. It's pretty awesome. He does good political cartoons. Rhombus Isotope, a social welfare state doesn't allow for the kind of insane anti-worker policies that allow tech startups to make billions in a year. Yeah. And then their own employees are getting food stamps. Balthazar228, man, thank you for coming back and supporting the show. What's the best way to try and convert all the neoliberal friends I have away from their neoliberal views? Most are below the 75K a year line and are under 30, but somehow fall for red baiting. I try to ask questions, not attack or get into a debate. I just try to ask these questions. Ask them this. Why can't they investigate all these other things? Why aren't we talking about the single greatest issue facing the world, which is climate change? Why is the mainstream media talking about the DNC fraud lawsuit? Why aren't they talking about the fact that we spend more in military than the next 7 countries combined? Point out all these questions, ask them these questions. That's what I do. And then I just say, I'm sorry, I can't fall for this again. I heard this growing up. This is nonsense. You know, even if Russia did all these things, so point out facts. America has overthrown and meddled in so many elections in Central and South America. I know so many like Central and South Americans that are just like laughing. They're falling out of their chairs like, all Americans are all bent out of shape about this. Oh no. You know, ask them that, ask them to pay attention to who buys ad time and wherever they do. Where do you watch your news? Oh, I watch MSNBC or CNN or, okay. Next time you're watching, see who's buying ad time. Pharmaceutical companies, the war machine, oil, gas, and go, see, they're buying the ad time. So that's why Rachel Maddow isn't every day going, oh my God, we're facing a climate crisis. Look at all this. Why aren't they asking those questions? Because look who's paying them. That who is paying. Just point out the facts. Don't tell them to think this way or think, just ask them these questions. Why aren't they doing this? Can't they, as I believe it was Shelby Hall said it on this show a couple weekends ago, can't they chew gum and walk at the same time? They can investigate Russia, great, but shouldn't they be talking about climate change across the board? Oh, the science is up in the air. No, it's not. As Neil deGrasse Tyson says, science doesn't need you to agree with it for it to exist. You know, I don't understand the science of this right now. I can't explain to you the technology, the fact that I'm talking to you on a phone and it's wireless. And these images are getting sent to you on your laptops or phones or however you're watching me. I don't know the science behind it, but I know it works. So when 97% of all scientists tell me that climate change is real, I tend to believe them. Somebody says, Graham, you can talk to the world live via video on a phone that's the size of a deck of cards that you keep in your pocket. Okay, sounds pretty crazy to me, but it works. So that's the thing, Balthazar, that I would do. Ask them these questions. Because they're, and also know this, they're not going to just turn around overnight. I didn't. I was furious after the election, and I just started to pay more attention. And then turn them on, and then go, well, how to get your news? Say, look, watch Jimmy Dore. Even watch TYT. It's a lot of Russia, blah, blah, but even, you know, watch Jimmy Dore. Follow Katie Halper. Follow Caitlin Johnstone. Watch Abby Martin. Go to Disobedient Media. Send them to all these places that are doing really good independent media work. And go, just start watching that. And they'll start to go, wow. And that'll slowly turn them around. And when I hear this, we got to get Trump out of there. I go, hey man, I heard anyone but Bush for 8 years. I'm not falling for that again. Give them the statistics. 5.2 million foreclosures as a direct result of Obama's policies. Because they love Obama, right? Oh, well, that's no. I've had neoliberal, smart neoliberal friends of mine go, yeah, he just inherited Bush's thing. I said, no, he didn't. And I go, read Dave Dane's chain of title. Dave Dane and his girlfriend worked on the Obama campaign in 2008. So just so if they're like, oh, Dave Dane must be some Fox red state anti-Obama guy. No, 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 no. He's a blue Democrat who went, this is fucked up. That's what I do. When people within an organization are pointing out the problems, that's when you know it's real. Balthazar 228 again, thanks for supporting the show. How many neoliberals does it take to screw in a light bulb? That's not funny. Doing something over and over again, expecting a different results isn't insanity. It's Peter Dow's resume. Thank you for spending $10 just to write a joke. Yeah, well, you must be a misogynist if you're going to question that. So thank you, Balthazar 228, for supporting the show. Oh, you guys are hilarious. You guys crack me up. I know a couple other people have just done the super chat. I want to get to what you guys said. Balthazar 228, would you say TYT is Russian to conclusions? All right, dude. One thing you can do with the super chat, you can just make jokes and I'll read them. Thanks, dude. All right, who's here? You guys are fantastic. Thank you for supporting the show. A Google use. Okay, that TYT Russian to conclusions is pretty good. Well, you got some fans out there, Balthazar, for your joke writing. Here, let's see what we got back here. Redneckonomics, Stevie, what's up? You get your computer fixed so you and I can Skype? I want to talk to you again, young lady. That sounds like you're in trouble, young lady. You're a grown woman. What am I, your dad? You're in trouble. No, you're not. I like talking to you. I don't know. This went off. I went off the rails. Stevie, thank you for watching the show. Let me know when you and I can do a Skype because I love hearing what's going on in West Virginia. Twirlip of the Mist. Good news about climate change. Solar has won. It's cheaper now and the price is falling. Market will get rid of fossil fuels. Sad we didn't do it sooner, but it's done now. Yeah, vote with your dollars. Cinema writer, the worldview pushed in binge-watched addictive TV shows is also neocon Clintonite deep state bullshit. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's so funny. So many of the shows, like the scripted dramas and everything, everyone in there is like awful and not that redeemable. And it's just, so we're all just supposed to feel like the whole world is shitty and we're all awful or something. I don't know what that's about, but it's a bummer. Dennis from Germany, thank you guys for FDR's team for helping write our Constitution. All our benefits that we have here originally are based on FDR's second Bill of Rights. So thank you guys. Yeah, that was a good thing FDR did, and he helped a lot of countries rebuild after World War II, and that's why they've got thriving economies and stuff like that. They just didn't get, you're lucky you didn't get hijacked by a bunch of corporations. Balthazar 228, the punishment must fit the rhyme. All right, dude. What are you doing, edibles today? Oh, here comes another one. Balthazar 228, thank you for supporting the show. I unintentionally became a delegate for Uncommitted. I was going to support Jared Polis for Colorado governor, but he's worth $400 million and voted to keep Bush cuts. Ooh, wow. Good for you for doing your research. That's such a great point, Balthazar 228. And that's something for all of us to pay close attention to, especially here in 2018. I just did a story. Lee Campus talked about this, that the CIA, a bunch of ex-CIA employees, operatives, are running as Democrats to stop evil Trump, right? And his Russia agenda. The Washington Post couched the whole thing as the intelligence community thinks Trump is a loose cannon. and we need to, they're going to do something about this. Trump is not a loose cannon. He's very easily manipulative, and they can get him out of there whenever they want. If the deep state really wants him out of there, they'll get him out of there. He's great at getting everyone all worked up over tweets like shithole countries and porn stars and all this other bullshit while they do their real business. War machine, deregulation, and then tying Trump to Russia, which really is just pushing the military industrial complex to getting us into another, Cold War that'll spend more money. So you got to pay close attention, and it's good, Balthazar 228, you brought this up, because they're going to run a lot of Democrats this year, starting now. They're starting, the primaries are starting, and you're just supposed to vote for the Democrat because they're running against the big bad evil Republicans. Do your research. Make sure they haven't taken a bunch of corporate money, because that's what they're going to try to sneak by you. Like Doug Jones, yay, barely beat a pedophile. Oh, he's already out there deregulating the bank. He's already acting like a Republican. So we're just supposed to, oh, thank God he's a Republican that doesn't fuck kids. Oh, great. Awesome. So watch out. That's how they're trying to do it. And good for you, Balthazar 228, for doing your research and finding that out. KC the 11, or like the abusive boyfriend husband, you'll never get anyone better than me, equals U.S. corporate politicians. This is the best healthcare you're going to get, so stick with me, baby. It's absolutely an abusive relationship. That's such a great analogy. I'm the best for you. And that's the Democrats. Anybody that voted for Jill Stein, you let Trump happen. Really? You just own my vote because I say anyone that says they're just remotely left of center, the Democrats own that. And the fucking neoliberal sheep that vote for the Democrats go along with this. Oh, you don't have to campaign if you're a Democrat? You just get my vote? People say this. They've been fed this nonsense, and they just say it over and over. Art Kozinski's gone to Standing Rock. Good for you. Gabriel 3G Base. I am broke, but I wanted to ask your thoughts on the evangelicals poised to take power. It's a scary thing. The evangelicals have been maneuvering in there. That's who Mike Pence was put in there by the evangelicals. And they want some kind of crazy holy war. They want it. It's like Chris Hedges, who grew up, I think he's like a minister's son or something. He's terrified of them, and he's very aware of it's crazy what the evangelicals are doing. And they're maneuvering behind a lot of this stuff. And they're pretty racist, the evangelicals, and obviously very homophobic, and they have ties to the big war machine. They're pretty gnarly. So Gabriel 3G Base, thanks for bringing that up. It's a good point. Hobo Raiders. Obama should have done a homeowners loan corporation type program to prevent foreclosures. FBR responded to the 20s mortgage crisis by bailing out the homeowners, not just the banks. Yeah, so I've said this story before, but I'll say it again with relation to what you just said, Hobo Raiders. So I was put on what was called a forbearance. They cut my mortgage payment. I was starting to fall behind. They cut my mortgage payment in half, and they said for 3 months, so make a half payment. In that 3 months, we're going to take all this new stimulus money and restructure your loan, give you a smaller payment to keep you in your house. I'm like, I'm all for it. I don't want to just restructure the loan just so my mortgage payment is lower and I can stay in my home. And then after 3 months, they said, oh, you don't qualify, and now you owe us for 3 months of half payments. So it was designed to fuck me, to put me, so there's no way I could bail myself out unless I literally needed like $12,000. And so unless you have a family that has the money or wants to, my dad could have helped me, but he didn't want to. So Obama could have saved 5.2 million people from foreclosure and kept a thriving economy and build people back up. Instead, he just let everybody squander and flounder. Obama's the worst. I want Balthazar 228. I want Canada's healthcare. I'm a poutine puppet. Thanks, Balthazar 228. Cinema writer, growing up with either Judaism or Catholicism turns all awake people into commies. Yeah, I grew up Catholic. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of a religion that goes out of its way to cover up pedophiles. I don't know. That's where I draw the line, but I'm a crazy extremist. Old Graham, always a hothead. Oh, you can't have sex with children and then cover it up? Yeah. Twirl up of the miss. I didn't vote for Trump and won't in 2020, but is he really so different and so much worse than the last 10 presidents? It's such a great point. That's the other thing to bring up. To Balthazar 228, you brought this up about how to convert neoliberals. When they say that, oh, Trump is so awful, I go, Obama deported 2 million people. He took us from 2 wars to 10. He dropped 26,171 bombs in 2016 alone. He helped create 5.2 million foreclosures. But Trump's going to blow the world up. No, he's not. Look what Obama did. Look what Bush did. Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction. He's a fucking war criminal. Look what Clinton did. He put 100,000 black men behind bars. He created NAFTA. He decimated the middle class. He deregulated. He unturned Glass-Steagall. Come on. Stephen Carl, the only reason Trump is catching all the shit is because he's not doing plutocracy right. Yeah, he's just dumb. He's just like an idiot teenager on his Twitter account. If his Twitter account was all like, oh, America, making America, and blah, blah, and just talked in that corporate speak, that political corporate speak, no one would be getting bent out of shape. But in some ways, it's good that he's this much of an idiot because it's getting all these people involved who wouldn't normally be involved. David Wint, most neoliberals I know are absolutely impervious to facts, reason, and logic. They benefit from the system as it is no reason for them to change their thinking, and they won't even look at independent media. Yeah, that's true. I would, again, come back with this question. Is this lesser of two evils? Has it worked? Is it still working? The lesser of two evils? Is it working? Just vote for the lesser of two evils? Do you do that in any other aspect of your life? 2 shitty jobs, but this one has awful healthcare system and this one doesn't. All right. You know, I'm in an awful relationship. This person, this significant other just treats me like crap, but they're kind of pretty. All right. A Google user, you might have answered this before, Graham, but companies like Walmart forcing workers into government assistance, how do they then advocate cutting assistance? Why wouldn't they be encouraging? No, we have talked about this, not today, but it's a good question to bring up again, most companies, you got to understand, are just thinking the next couple of quarters down the road. They're not seeing the long-term problems that will affect their own company. They just see bottom line, cut workers, cut money for employees. That's all they do. Just cut. Bottom line, good next quarter so that the stocks are up. That's it. They're not sitting here going, man, 5-10 years down the road, this is really bad for the American economy, which is really going to fuck us. They don't think that way. They're just short-term greedy, and that's all they do. That's all they do. It's a good question, though. Balthazar 228. Thank you for supporting the show. Almost single-handedly. The most destructive things Obama did for 2016 was run on his progressive populist platform and turn heel. He fooled us once so that when HRC didn't even try to fake progressivism, we didn't bite. Yeah, I know. I don't know about you, but I'm sure, well, this is how I was, and maybe many of you felt this way. In 2008, I thought, oh, wow, we've got a new FDR here. Oh, I thought Obama was going to be like FDR. He was going to come in, sweeping reform, and we'd be sitting here 8 years later in 2016 going, wow, look how much better America. Look at this, green jobs. You know, we're out of all these ridiculous wars. We're spending more money on infrastructure. People's homes were saved. The economy's thriving. There's a great middle class. Well, all these jobs are here. No. Nobody fell for it again. The sort of like what do they call them? The Reagan Democrats or whatever, those types of like left-leaning Republicans all those counties that voted for Obama twice that then went for Trump. There are another group of people who just were like, they normally didn't vote Democrat, but after 8 years of Bush, they said, fuck the Republicans. I'm going to go with this new hope and change guy. Maybe he's going to change it. And he didn't. So they said, fuck them, fuck the Democrats, fuck Clinton. How was she any different? I gave the first black guy a chance. I'm not giving this woman a chance because she just sounds like more of the same bullshit. That's what a lot of those sort of conservative, white, gave Obama a shot people said. And Hillary didn't do anything to help change their mind. It's a great point. And then all the people that didn't buy after, that were like, I'm not going to be fooled again, they went in a lot of different directions. Some of them went Bernie Sanders and went that guy. Some of them said, fuck this, I'm voting for Trump. I don't know how you vote for Trump because he's racist and xenophobic, but if you don't see and hear those things on a daily basis, you're not sort of aware of them or sensitive to them, then you just be, Trump just says crazy stuff. We make jokes like that all the time in my local bar or something. And so then those statements aren't that offensive to you. I'm not including the like hardcore racists that supported Trump. I'm just talking about just the like regular white people who some of them voted for Obama and then voted for Trump. Thank you, Balthazar228, for supporting the show. Sticky Bits. Americans create a tyrannical society and claim it's fine due to some corporate notion of freedom of speech. Oh yeah, it's not real freedom of speech. It's ridiculous. Balthazar228, thank you for supporting the show again. Hillary Rodham Clinton couldn't even change her slogan to I'm with you. Yeah, her slogan was so arrogant. I'm with her. Obama, at least in 2008, he had a great campaign, Hope and Change. Hope and change. I'm here to give you hope. Vote for me and I will change and make your life better. Hillary, I'm with her. I have to be with a rich, privileged white lady. She's not with me. She doesn't have my back. I have to get the back of a rich, privileged white lady? Fuck you. Fuck your fucking foundation that pays your spoiled little daughter $100 million a year. Fuck your white privilege. Go fuck yourself. It's a great point, man. Stephen Carl, Clinton alluded to some theoretical tech jobs in entrenched labor union towns in the Rust Belt while telling them to hive-hiver while overdying their industries. Why would you vote for that? Exactly. Yeah. Balthazar228, yes, we can. That was his slogan. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Together, we can change things. Hope and change. Now, obviously, it was bullshit. He didn't really do it. He did a little something, but not much. But even her campaign was just so like, nope, I'm next. I'm the first woman. Me. Just spoiled little girl. Red Economics. Trump's media here was very favorable. Showed clips with promises of jobs, not the really bad stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's a great point, Stevie. You were in a red state, and in the red states, they showed him talking jobs. And he went to the red states. He went to the places that were the most depressed parts of the country and said, I'm going to bring jobs back to you. And neoliberals with college degrees in big cities where they have plenty of white-collar jobs went, I don't know what's the problem. What's all this? Why is the economy's not that bad? It's good for me. They don't travel around the country. They didn't see all the places like West Virginia in the middle of the country where there's just empty towns and empty factories. And, they didn't see it. They don't see it. They're in San Francisco and the tech jobs and rent's going through the roof and everyone's making a great living. I'm in Portland. I'm in Seattle. I'm in Chicago. I'm in New York City. This is great. This is great. They didn't see it. And the media helped put Trump in office. They gave him $5 billion in free advertising. They cut away from Bernie Sanders' speeches, who's talking about socialism and workers' rights. They cut away from that to go to an empty podium where Trump was going to speak. Agent Dale Chomsky, Obama's 2008 campaign won top advertising awards for that year, beating juggernauts like Coke. It was a spectacular propaganda outfit. Yeah. Yes. And so was Trump's. Make America great again. I'm a white person in an economically depressed part of the country, which is a huge part of the country. Neoliberals are telling me to just go to college. I don't have that opportunity. They're telling me I have white privilege, which I understand white privilege, but if I grew up working class, I grew up third generation coal miner. My jobs have been taken away by NAFTA and shit like that Democratic presidents put in there. You're telling me I have white privilege? Fuck you. I understand that. I understand somebody totally rejecting that. What is this? Balthazar228, to be fair, how could she talk about supporting workers, I'm sure he's talking about Clinton, when she had to spend 75 grand on attacking Trump for being gross? Yeah, that's another great thing. That's the campaign that Clinton ran. Her ad campaign was, he's awful. Don't vote for him. You should have just been saying, I'm going to do this and this and this, but that's the Democrats don't have a plan for workers. They don't have a thing to support unions. They support banks and war and everything else. He went after the Republican Party. He blew the Republican Party up. And everyone just wants to go, oh, he was racist. Yes, he is racist. Yes, he's offensive. But he tapped into something of working class people. Now he's abandoned it completely since he's been in the White House, and he just gave a $1.5 trillion increase to the national deficit so that corporations could get more tax breaks, because that's how he rolls. But he ran a great campaign. Plantastic Life. Dominic, thank you so much for supporting the show. People complain about only having evil candidates to choose from. They never consider that until corporate money is taken out of politics, things won't change. It's not a conspiracy. It's business as usual. Plantastic Life. Thank you for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. And that's a great point. And that's the other thing. Going back to the question of how do you get neoliberals to change their mind, show them who their Democratic heroes get money from. And when they say, yeah, but it's listen, then say, no, I'm not. Just say, I'm not. Don't get them to change. Say, this is why I won't support it. I'm not supporting these candidates anymore that get money from banks. I'm not going to do it. I refuse to. I'll vote Green Party or Independence till the day I'm dying, because I'll have a clean conscience. I can look in the mirror and say, I voted for the best candidate, not the lesser of two evils. I'm not doing that anymore. And if the best candidate, in my opinion, gets 5% of the vote, good. Great. I feel better about myself. You know what I'm saying? And they don't want to get corporate money out of politics. They don't want to hear the fact that Hillary Clinton got $600,000 from Goldman Sachs to give a bunch of speeches. And in one of those speeches says, we got to stop this anti-banking attitude in America. And people wonder why. You wonder why people didn't want to vote for it? 5.2 million people lost their fucking homes, and she's backing the banks? Fuck her. Fuck Obama. Fuck the Democratic Party. Fuck them. Thanks for supporting the show. Fantastic. Like Dominic, always great to hear from you. Balthazar228, a white rich warmonger and corporatist make pandering and disparaging comments in India while ignoring problems. When has that happened before? Ha ha! That's a great point. You're on a roll today, Balthazar228. That's what white rich warmongers do. That's their main thing. David Wint, thank you for supporting the show. You're nailing it, of course, but the neolibs I know just cannot / will not see it. They only see deplorables whose simple minds must be changed. Well, one of the things I do then when I'm confronted with that, I don't even try to change their mind anymore. I just say, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm done. Let them know they're not going to change your mind. I'm sorry. There's always been racists and Nazis in this country, and it's scary, but if we don't address the real issues here, it won't matter. If we don't have breathable air and drinkable water, it won't matter, right? It won't matter. And when the Democratic Party abandoned working people, if the Democratic Party came and helped working people, you wouldn't have this. When you abandon working people, and people feel scared and no jobs and no help and no health care, then they run to demagogues. Then they look to extremist organizations. That's what happens. Is it any different in the Middle East? Tell them that, David Wint. Look, in the Middle East, they're poor, they got no hope, there's no jobs, fucking drones fall from the sky and kill their family. Of course they're going to join fucking ISIS or Al-Qaeda. Of course they are. Same thing with the deplorables that joined Trump, that joined the Klan. They're the same fucking thing. They're poor, they're white, they're uneducated, there's not a lot of opportunity, and some Nazi guy comes in and says, you know what the problem is? It's them over there. That group. I got your back. Okay. No one else has my back. Thank you, David Wood, for supporting the show. Balthazar228 and Plantastic Life. You guys are all jumping in there. I love it. Where are we at here? We've been talking for a little over an hour. Free Parsons. I guess that comes our disagreement, buddy. Speech doesn't cause harm. That's a slippery slope argument. I don't understand what that's in reference to. Nick Thompson, I didn't get an alert for the chat. Shocking. Yeah, if you click the alert icon next to the subscribe button, you should get an alert. If you've done that and you still don't, then I would suggest following me on Twitter or Instagram or my Facebook fan page, because I post in the mornings when I know I always say I'll be going live today at whatever time. And I usually do that late morning when I can figure out my schedule for the day and I go, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So pay attention on social media, that helps. So then you don't have to wait for, yeah. So you said you have done that. I'm not surprised. They've tried not to alert people. They've unsubscribed people. So like I said, I'd follow me, pay attention, check in on social media, on my social media in the mornings on Saturdays and Sundays, and I'll let you know. That might help, I hope. Stephen Carl, fear is a great motivator, though, dubstep. Americans are crippled by comfort. Yeah, that's absolutely. Google user, subscribe to his channel's RSS feed too. Yeah, there you go. It's another great way to support the show too. If you, a free way is listen and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. So what I do is I'll take about the audio from 5 or 6 videos, put them together and drop like a 40-minute podcast. So even if you already watch all the videos, still that's a free way, and positive comments on iTunes helps their algorithm, so they'll promote it more to people. Those are great free ways to support the show. Lee Cox, hello. KC the 11. I did a contribution here several weeks ago, but if YouTube is skimming deep, I'd prefer to do a PayPal if that works. Some earlier said it does not work. Yeah, you can go to PayPal if you'd like. You also, I have a PO box. Some of you have done that because you don't want to, be known or whatever. If you write me, some people have sent, and you can even handwritten question, I'll read it on the show if you want. The PO box is on my website if you go to grahamelwood.com. Human Montani Semper Liberi, thank you. Skit Bits, fear is a tool of tyrants to lead an ignorant population into tyrannical actions. Absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. But going back to, and that's part of what Plantastic Light was talking about, corporate money in politics. So they want to keep corporate money in politics, so they'll just keep us all scared and distracted so that we don't pay attention to the corporate money in politics. And like Plantastic Life said, it's not a conspiracy, but business as usual. And that goes also to the part of the fear is what goes to the thing that Balthazar 228 brought up about how Obama fooled us in 2020, through his campaign, so that when 2016 rolled around, a lot of us were like, I'm not being fooled again. But then what did they do? A lot of us were like, we're not being fooled again. So we're going to show big, scary, evil Trump. Oh, so we better vote for Hillary to stop the big, crazy, evil Nazi Trump. See how they do that? See how they do that? Anything to get us away from the fact that the Democrats are just as corrupt. Anything to get us away from the fact that it's corporate money that's paying for all of this. So everything like Balthazar 228 and Plantastic Life said are pointing out to the same aspects of the same problem. That's how they do it. See how it's all connected? The fear is to keep the corporate money coming in, and the fear gets us distracted from the corruption. So that's why it's all Russia, Russia, Trump, Trump, Trump. So David Wynn, I hope that helps change some of your neoliberal friends' minds. Twirl Up with a Miss. Graham, how come you're not on the Jimmy Dore show anymore? No, I'm still on it. It's just, I'm busy doing my TV show, so I don't have time. I'm editing, so I don't have time to like go to Jimmy's studio and be on his show, but I'll be on it again. If he has a live show on, I'm available. I'll do it. I'm just super busy with the TV show. There's no problem or anything. I'll be on his show more. Don't worry. Jimmy and I are still great friends. He's going to be on the FNX show. It's all good. I'll be on it more. One of you just asked for the P.O. box. It's Monica CA 90409. There you go. I just put the P.O. box on there. I hope that helps. Der Schwarzwitter, and still is dubstep. Saw a vid over at Jimmy Dore show about Hillary talking crap about Middle America. Yeah, of course. She's just that gave Trump and the Republicans great ammunition to go, oh, see these liberal elites? They don't give a fuck about you working class people. Carey Mosley, are you vegan, Graham? I try to be. I don't eat red meat. So I eat dairy I try not to eat dairy once in a blue moon. I'll eat eggs, not that often. I'm sorry, I can't say I'm full vegan. I hope that answers your question. Somebody's going to send me a 10,000 dong note. Okay, I don't know what that means. Where are you at here? Where are some other questions that we've got? Skitbits, give tyrants a place in their public... Americans give tyrants a place in their public sphere and then wonder what's wrong. Absolutely. We're in an abusive relationship in America. That's what we do. We just let abusers treat us this way, and that's how we exist. It's just ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. All right, let's go back. Sorry, I'm having some tech issues. What is another question here? Sometimes it just holds. Let me refresh my page. Let me get a page refresh. Balthazar 228, thank you for supporting the show. Will you do a vid on states one versus counties one? You talking about 2016? Yeah, I can do that. Stephen Carl, haven't had store-bought eggs since I moved to the Santa Cruz Mountains 17 years ago. Yeah, I try to get organic everything no matter what I do. Free Parsons. Graham, Skitbits and I are discussing why free speech should where is that? That just got knocked out. Skitbits and I are discussing why free speech should or shouldn't cover hate speech and lies. Would you please address this? Ooh, great point. Well, I think ultimately people should be able to say whatever they want to say. That's what the Constitution is. But what most people fall short is, I have the right to say whatever I want, and you have the right to say whatever you want. So hate speech, that's a tricky thing in the eyes of the law, because if you're telling people to go commit acts of violence, then you could argue, and it's a fair argument, that you're contributing to violence in society or hate crimes. If I'm some white supremacist saying, "Oh, find these brown people and knock them out," or whatever, then you could argue that I'm instigating violence. I'm pushing violence. So that's an interesting discussion, Free Parsons, that you and Skitspitz are having. I think you should be able to say what you want to say, even if it's offensive. I think you should be able to say, but if you're going to go out and instigate violence, that's another thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Just saying awful things, fuck you, you're ugly, or some racial epithet, okay, you should be able to say that even though it's awful. But if you're going to go out and commit violence, that's another thing. If I understand, I mean, that's where I stand on it, kind of. I know that's sort of vague, but it's an interesting discussion. Art Kozlinski, United States General Strike. I just made the Facebook group. Please search it and join it. Let's do this. All right, Art Kozlinski. Thank you for supporting the show. What Art is proposing here is he's seeing the effect of what the teachers did in West Virginia and what these high school students just did this past week. And a general walkout to just protest everything that's going on. This is a great point, Art Kozlinski. So everybody do that. United States General Strike. Go to Facebook and search that. And you'll and join the page if you want to do this. Everybody get involved. It's a great thing. Thanks, Art. Really appreciate it, man. Ex-Radical Minds. Thank you for supporting the show. What if the Democrats are in place to undermine leftism? Just a thought. Also, hi, everybody. Graham, please get a stage. All right. I don't think it's a what if, quite honestly, ex-Radical Minds, and thank you for supporting the show. I think it is. I think that's the Democrats have been bought out by corporations, and their sole purpose is to undermine the left. I think it's calculated. I don't think it's some conspiracy theory. I think the big corporations are like, hey, stop this fucking lefty socialist crap because it's bad for business. So their job is to undermine, and they hire people like Joyanne Reid to go after Bernie Sanders. They bought out all the media to push the Clinton agenda. The Clinton agenda is not a left-wing agenda. It is a pro-war, pro-corporate, pro-banking agenda that has a couple little social issues in there. You know? Look at Nancy Pelosi, just backed an anti-abortion and anti-LGBT rights candidate. She just backed this guy. I forget his name. I did the video on it, but she just backed him. The Democratic Party, Jimmy Dore says this, they say this on TYT, and I say it. The Democrats would rather lose to Republicans than let progressives take over the party. It is by design. This isn't a theory. You know? They are paid off to go after and undermine actual left socialism policies, progressive policies. Fuck their party up. The big checks stop rolling in if they do that. Thanks for asking that question. Carl Knight, what are your favorite socialist organizations? I like the Democratic Socialists of America, and then I go to that socialist website. Where is it? I just did it. I'm gonna sites. I'll look it up right now. Yes, the World Socialist website, wsws.org. I like them. They are doing a lot of socialist articles. They cover a lot of topics from a purely socialist point of view, which I like. The Democratic Socialists of America, I really like. And there's also socialistworker.org. I've read a little bit of theirs, but World Socialist website and the Democratic Socialists of America are the organizations. Well, one's a news site and one's a political organization. I like those two. Carl Knight, thanks for supporting the show. I hope that answers your question. Balthazar 228. Will you do a vid on states one versus counties one? Yeah, I will. I absolutely will. Balthazar 228 again. Can we add the terms Hillary industrial complex and corporate supremacists to the lexicon? Pro tip for Dems. If you're no pack, Chucky can't be a fundraiser. Okay. Thanks, Balthazar 228. Hillary industrial complex and corporate supremacists to the lexicon. Sure. I would say Clinton industrial complex because I would add it's her and her husband started their horrifying organization. The their foundation that just goes and helps so many people. Just ask the Haitians. They love the Clintons down there. Love them. Love everything they're doing with them. Thanks for supporting the show. Nick Thompson, FYI, I early voted today in Illinois for progressives Daniel Bliss for governor and Samina Mustafa for Illinois House District 5, among others. Can you remind people the Illinois primary is Tuesday? Absolutely, Nick Thompson. If you live in Illinois, the primary is this Tuesday, okay? This Tuesday, which is the 20th. March 20th is the Illinois primary. So if you're registered to vote in Illinois, get out there and vote on Tuesday and vote for all these progressives. I'll read these names again. Daniel Bliss for governor, Samina Mustafa for Illinois House District 5, and there's a bunch of others. Find out, go to Our Voice USA. Go check them out, and they can help you with, if you're looking for progressives to back. Justice Democrats. I'm not giving them money for how they handled the Cenk Unger thing, but I will look to their recommendations and see who they picked. So if you're in Illinois primary, vote this Tuesday. Thanks for bringing that up, Nick. Cyber Clue, I came in late. Graham, how was your St. Patty's Day? I got drunk and fucking made a pipe bomb and I blew up an English bar. No, I'm kidding. I don't drink. It was fun. I didn't really, I'm Irish, so, I read some Irish literature and I went to actually a Native American play. This Native American Voices theater group. I went there, this play called Bingo. It's cool. David Wint, maybe we could all just focus on climate change and scare people straight with what's about to hit the fan. David Wint, great point. That is let people, that's a great point. When people say, oh, Graham, we got to stop Trump, I go, I'm sorry, I need real progressives because climate change is happening right now. We're gonna be facing the end of the human race if we don't get real progressives in there. So I'm not voting for a corporate Democrat just to stop Trump. I want real climate change to happen, and that means every decision I make about being a progressive and who I vote for and where I spend my money is all about saving the planet. Tell them that. Great point, David Wint. You just answered your own question on how to get neoliberals to change. Right, where are we at here? Balthazar 228. If I say vampires suck, am I being monsterist? Thanks for supporting the show, dude. And thanks for adding terms like Hillary industrial complex and corporate supremacist to the lexicon. You're fucking killing me, man. Chris Foster, Art Kozlinski, make it all the people in the world and I'm in. Ooh, Chris Foster, great point. What if the whole world, like in UK, the BBC just smeared Jeremy Corbyn? Art Kozlinski, add it the whole world. Everyone's tired of this corporate pro-war bullshit. Everyone's going to walk out for the climate. Because without addressing climate change, life on Earth ends. It doesn't matter then about health care or workers' rights or anything like that. If we don't address the climate, we're all done. Great point, Chris Foster. Skip Bits. How did Americans become so ignorant of how democracy and freedom of speech actually works? Yeah, because the corporate state told us to stop thinking about it. That's why. It's not taught in schools. Corporate state has bought out the schools and the media and everything. Movies. It's not just the news. Movies, TV shows are slowly. It's a slow little propaganda thing. Cyber Clue. Yeah, don't say that at Hotel Transylvania. You guys are hilarious. Anastasia Duke is having a bunch of stuff retracted. David Wint, Jersey City teachers also went on strike a few days ago. It's what we're going to need. More strikes, man. More walkouts. More people just saying, no, this doesn't work, man. It just ain't going to work. All right, guys. I'm running out of time. Oh, Plantastic Life. The UK is pushing Russiagate too. Yep. That's why everyone needs the climate change is affecting everybody right now. So we all need to address the wars all across the planet. That the UK and America obviously is on the forefront of it. The oil. We all need to get rid of the oil industry. It's a good point, man. Carl Knight, in solidarity with you, Jimmy Dore, Abby Martin, etc. You all don't change my grim world view, but it's nice to feel like we're on the same team. Carl Knight, I know what you mean. And I think everybody getting involved, doing things like Art Kozlinski's doing things like voting early, like like everything that we're doing. I feel the same way when I watch Abby Martin's show or go on the Jimmy Dore show or do this super chat. I get motivated. I get invigorated. I feel like we can do something together. It is pretty grim. But I feel like there is a shot at doing something. When I see all these high school kids walking out, I feel like, all right, these high school kids these are kids. They're all going to be voting age soon, real soon. They'll all be voting age. These high school kids are going to be voting age for 2020 for sure. For sure. So wake the fuck up, corporate politicians. So thanks, Carl Knight. I really appreciate it. And thank you for supporting the show. Hold on. MN, all fast food workers should strike on the same day. That'll get our fat ass American butts out to the polls. Yeah, that's a good point. That one we are hiding. C. Blaine, I felt hopeless until those kids started marching. They give me hope for the future. Yeah, man. I totally agree. I was like, damn. And everyone's like, oh, these millennial kids. You know, it's always that. I've heard that, you kids today. I heard it when I was a kid. I've heard it every generation after mine. These kids today, they just sit around on the internet and blah, blah, blah. No, they're walking out because they're tired of seeing their classmates getting killed. That's fucking awesome. I got hope. I was like, the kids are doing this? Yeah, because everyone else is just sitting around. The fucking adults and everybody are just letting this shit happen. No one wants to do anything. The kids are fucking walking out. Good for them. Jeffrey Pearson, in Salem, Oregon, the Democratic Platform Organization discussed transitioning away from fossil fuels by 2030 because 2050 won't demand change fast enough. You're damn right. Chris Foster, Jeremy Corbyn is getting ready to start a mutiny on the USS Great Britain. Damn right. All right, guys. Thanks, Free Parsons. Thanks, Graham, and all the non-insulting people on this channel. Yeah, guys, look, man, it's cool to debate. It's cool to disagree with each other. I just want it civil. I don't want like, fuck you. That's not civil. I want it civil. Thank you. All right, guys. It's 4:30. It's been a little over an hour and a half. I got to get going. It's great, and I really appreciate everything you guys are saying, and I'll keep making videos. And I love doing this super chat. I love the discussions we're having. I love how you guys are supporting the show. Like I said, Patreon is the best way to do it. You can also go to the P.O. box. You can go to my Graham Elwood. I'm on PayPal if you just want to do that. So you guys are really cool. And I really appreciate this format and this discussion, and the debate and everything else. You guys bring up different ideas that I haven't considered, and you all come from different walks of life and different. Those of you that live, I'm pretty hardcore on the gun thing. But even those of you that like, hey, Graham, I live in the country and I need a gun because there's coyotes and rattlesnakes and shit. That's where I'm like, all right, you should be allowed to have one. You're allowed limited guns in Australia. And just no one needs an AR-15. So anyway, I appreciate all the points of view. I appreciate doing this. And you guys, I know you've hit the notification bell icon and sometimes it still doesn't tell you. But I'll follow me on social media. My social media is at Graham Elwood on Instagram and Twitter. And then if you just go to facebook.com/Graham Elwood Comedy, that's my Facebook fan page. My regular page is maxed out. So just like my Facebook fan page because I post that morning when I'm going to do the super chats. And those of you who are new to Patreon, here's how Patreon works. So if you donate to Patreon like today or this month, you won't get charged till the first of the next month. So that's when you get charged, your credit card gets charged the first of the month. That's when your reward kicks in. So if you're just joining for the first time on Patreon this month, April 1st, you'll get charged. And then in April, you'll get whatever award level you're at, if that makes sense. Thank you so much for supporting the show. You guys are awesome. Nick Thompson, thank you for supporting. Thank you, Graham. Come back to Chicago. I couldn't see you were at Zany's last time. Would love to meet you. Take care, my friend. Nick, I will be back in Chicago. I'm going to be doing more tours this summer. The Progressive Comedy Tour is all set. There's a Facebook page for it. Ron Placone and myself, we're going to be going around doing stand-up comedy. Wednesday, May 9th, we're at the Tempe Improv in Tempe, Arizona. Thursday, we're at Pennington's Pub in Lake Havasu, Arizona. Friday, we are in Las Vegas. The venue is there. It's this like progressive kind of organizations venue. That's that Friday, the May 11th, and Saturday the 12th, we're at the Comedy Club in San Diego. So go to they're all on, if you go to grahamelwood.com, it's all in my calendar, or you can go to the Facebook Progressive Comedy Tour page. If you live in any of those cities, come out. Ron and I will be doing progressive comedy. And I might even do a little bonus Political Vigilante live or something like that. If any of the shows sell out, I'll add a show and we'll do Political Vigilante live. And then we're going to be doing more tours this summer. So go to Progressive Comedy Tour, because as we add more dates and more cities and more locations, Chicago will definitely be one of them. Nick Thompson, thanks for supporting the show. Yeah, we're going to come to New York City. We all want to do it. Yes. All right. I will be in Chicago. I'll be in New York. And who knows? Might even be in Europe. Might even be in Asia. Might be all over the place. But that's the show, everybody. So awesome. We're coming up on like an hour and a half. And come to Australia. Yeah, we'll come down there. And I appreciate everybody working together and all the stuff you all are doing, and you're working on this campaign and these little issues and stuff in your local community. That'll all collectively make everything better. So it's awesome that there's this whole international network of political vigilantes. So thanks for watching the show, and let's make Gotham great again. Boom shakalaka.